The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's Platinum webinar with your host, Todd Walters.
Thanks, Andrea. Welcome, everyone. Glad to be sharing some great stuff with you today, right smack out of our Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Coaching Program. And with that, we've got coming up, as a matter of fact, I'm jumping on an airplane tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I'm flying from Atlanta, Georgia into Santa Ana, Anaheim, California. And I'm going to be there at the Hyatt somewhere around midday and getting settled in. We've got a great meeting planned tomorrow night with our coaches. So all of the coaches in the Craig Proctor organization are going to be getting together, and we get together and we talk about how we can do things better for everyone. So that's going to be a fantastic event. And then Thursday morning, bright and early Thursday morning on September 17th, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone that can hear my voice right now at registration to pick up your materials for the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Conference. It's going to be our biggest, most amazing event that we've ever had. And I know we've said that before, but they do continue to get bigger and better. We get better. We figure out how to do things better, communicate better, and provide better stuff just about every day we get up and go to work. That's what we do. It's just like you in your business, where you guys show up and you're trying to do a better job than you did the day before at helping more buyers and sellers, with buy and sell real estate. We're doing the same thing on this end to help you do that. So I have the agenda up here, threw it up on my screen. I do want to mention this one thing here. I'm going to slide over to day 3, Saturday. And I'm going to open up my screen here so you can see that, and I'll highlight it. 9 a.m. on Saturday, September 19th. It's Kim Proctor calling me now. On 9 a.m. Saturday, September 19th, Jay Macklin and myself are going to be sharing with all of the Platinum Program members one of our new programs that we're rolling out for a few Platinum members who are going to be interested in this, and that is, establishing and growing your real estate brokerage. Okay, we have a lot of members that have their own real estate company that want to do this, so this is by popular demand, and we've been working on this for an awful long time behind the scenes, probably since 2000 and I'm going to say 13. So what we've got is well established. So as a matter of fact, to talk about some of that today on recruiting and getting agents to come and join your real estate sales team, I've invited Jay Macklin onto this webinar. Jay, you there?
I am here.
Welcome, my man. So how things there in sunny Phoenix?
I was just saying to myself, God, it's finally great to be under 100 degrees, but it's beautiful. Yeah, it's fun. Although we've had a lot of monsoons this year, so that's okay. We'll take the rain. It's
always hot in Phoenix, man. The real estate market's hot there pretty well. So, all right, I want to talk a little bit about you real fast. I'm going to throw up the coaching side on the screen here for a minute. This is the file library, and I'm going to go to the Platinum Recruiting Systems Library. I would encourage anybody who's watching the webinar to do the same thing. So while we're doing that, Jay, let's get a little bit of background here. I remember when you had when I met you and Michelle, you had your own independent real estate sales team, and you guys were doing really well, sold a lot of homes, made a lot of money there. Done so well, in fact, you got the big idea to grow it beyond a real estate sales team into several brokerages. So just give us kind of a story on that and where you are now.
Yeah, that was 2010. We started our own little, I was a RE/MAX agent, and then we thought, hey, let's open up our own little independent brokerage, and we did that in 2010. And I just did it for my team. I mean, I just thought, hey, I'm spending 30, 40 grand a year with my brokerage. I can put that money back into systems and marketing, and we did. And so 3 years fast forward later, I had a great team. It was fun. I really enjoyed what I was doing, and I got the big idea. I was gonna bite off a big piece of this pie, and that was in January 2013. We started with 10 agents. Now we're 2.5 years later. We're at 120. 3 offices, actually one more opening here pretty quick, so a total of 4. But yeah, I mean, you and I had that conversation, and I was at a bit of a crossroads. You know, I didn't know if I was going to continue with my team or do the brokerage thing, and you and I had that conversation, and I took this road.
Yeah, well, it's just a form of leverage. You know, you're doing pretty well. Your team's making you money, and you're not really selling a lot of real estate personally. You've got it well leveraged. So I just looked at it as just a continued evolution of the growth of your real estate business and company, and you continue to leverage exactly what you were doing just into a little bigger machine. What do you got? 4 real estate offices now?
Yeah, three up and running, and then 1 in the works, opening here in the next month or 2. So it'll be a total of 4.
That's fantastic, man. That's great growth, and especially within such a short period of time. And so there's reasons that happens. Okay, so on the 3rd Tuesday of every month, or is it the 4th Tuesday of every month? 3rd Tuesday of every month, I try to find, a real estate mega agent, we'll call them, in our program who's doing really well, get them on the webinar and spend some time interviewing them, talking to them about their business, what's working, what's not, look at some of the things they're doing. So that's exactly what we're doing today. So I knocked on your door and said, hey, Jay, what are you doing? I know we've got this big announcement and presentation that we're doing in Anaheim, but we've got this webinar. Why don't we get to talk about recruiting, because it is one of the things that many of our agents struggle with. But you seem to be talking to real estate agents on a weekly basis, if not daily basis, about joining your real estate company. Is that right?
I do. Yeah. I mean, it's primarily now it's on a daily basis, whether it's Facebook, workshop I'm doing, which is coming up next week, or just somebody had referred them to us, or they responded to some of our marketing stuff. So yeah, it used to be 2-3 times a week. Now it's 2-3 times a day.
Yeah. See, a lot of people will say, look, as a matter of fact, I'm going to wager to say most of the members, the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Program members that are watching and listening to you and I right now, most of them have an overflow of business, and they could use people on their team at their company to help them handle the overflow. And if it's not that, they have people that at least one of them they would like to replace with someone else that can do a better job, right? So when they throw this at me, when I'm having conversations with them in a consultation or something like that, my first question is, well, what are you doing to get better salespeople? And most of the time the answer is, well, nothing, which means, well, you can't really complain about it, too much. If it's something that you believe that you need, that you need, like you have to do something about it. So we've got really good recruiting systems, and I'm going to draw everybody's attention to it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to fast forward here on this. Jay, I'm going to just point out a couple of things to some members, and if it's okay, Jay, I want to flip the screen over to your monitor and look at a few of the things that you're doing as it relates to getting agents interested in raising their hand and get interested in your real estate company. Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So on the screen right here I am in the file library on the member site, okay? And I want to point out to you, this is ID 810, it's Platinum OSA Recruiting Manual Part 1. And then there's ID 811, which is Part 2. Okay, actually combined Part 2 and 3. So those 2 manuals, every member who needs or wants people to leverage, especially salespeople, outside sales agents, you got to have those downloaded and printed. Okay, it starts there. The ads are there. Anything and everything you could want is right there in those manuals. So take a look at it and go for it. Now, so Jay, as we switch this over to your screen, as a matter of fact, Andrea, can you do that, or do I need to?
I can do it. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, flip that over to Jay, and while you're doing that, let me say this. You know how Jay, when we're trying to get like listings, and we have to answer this question in our marketing of, hey, why should I list my house with you over and above anybody else or any other option? Well, the same thing's true with coming to work at your real estate sales team or your real estate brokerage, right? It's why should I move my real estate license from where it presently is, okay, to your real estate sales team or company, as opposed to maybe even just doing my own.
Yeah, identical. I mean,
right.
Yeah, it's virtually identical. I haven't changed anything that I did when I was trying to get buyers and sellers. I have not changed a thing other than, the message is slightly tweaked, obviously, for that purpose. But, yeah, I mean, so here's a couple postcards that I just sent out, and the one on the left seemed to do a little better than the one on the right, so we're going to tweak it a little bit. But, yeah, it's no different. Hey, tell me why, because, in my area, and if people are looking at RE/MAX offices, there's 5 in a 3 square 3 mile radius. So, sorry, my commissions Inc. site just popped up. So, I have to identify, obviously, why you want to come to mine versus other companies. But what's interesting and what's really kind of unique is that my competition isn't what you think it is. Because of the systems and the things we offer, it becomes almost irrelevant. Like I rarely ever have anybody say, oh yeah, I'm also talking to these other 2 RE/MAX offices or this other company. They've never thought about leaving until they saw one of our marketing pieces and thought, wow, I've never seen anything like it. So there's really very few other brokerages on the list. So I'm trying to pretty much make my competition irrelevant just based on the marketing pieces. Kind of like what you do when you're buyers and sellers. I mean,
yeah. So one of the things that I see that you're pretty good at, and everybody needs to pay attention to this, is there's this thing that Craig and I call a bridge too far. So Donald Trump can probably put out a help wanted sign, and without saying anything, just say, I need help. And there's a good chance he would have people lined up halfway around the world to apply to come and work with him. And that would even be before they knew what the benefits were or what the salary was. And that's primarily due to positioning. So there were times in my real estate career here in Metro Atlanta, Jay, where I could say that. I could say that, look, I need some help. And because I was, in the public's eye in the real estate industry on a regular basis, being one of the top real estate agent and sales team for a long time in town, people would come to my events and I didn't have to work too hard at it. Okay, well, fast forward a few years, sold my real estate business, and we started Optimus Real Estate Brokers. Some time had gone by. Almost, not a whole generation of agents, but a good bit of new people. And I basically had to almost start over with, well, wait a second, yeah, I'm a guy, I did pretty well selling real estate, and you should pay attention. So, it was harder work than I thought it was going to be to get agents to come and pay attention to my real estate business. So, in your marketing here, instead of saying, hey, stop what you're doing and come and join my real estate sales team or come and join my company, move your license over here right now. I'm looking at your marketing materials, Jay, and they really don't even say that. You're offering information in exchange for my information, like free reports, free information, free access, free training, and that sort of thing. So tell us a little bit more about the overall strategy of lowering the threshold of resistance and getting in front of agents first and presenting the benefits and then closing them on working with you.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. So, just like buyers and sellers, I don't want to scare them off by trying to hard close them or hard sell them on, why they should come to my brokerage, because they're always going to come up with any kind of reason like, oh, I'm happy, I like my broker, or no, I have no intentions of leaving, I didn't even think about it. So this is just for them, this is a way for them to kind of go, okay, I could use this in my business. Not thinking about maybe joining my brokerage, but hey, I could grab this and use this and somehow put it to work in the current situation I'm in, and then realizing that there's a lot more involved, there's a lot more where that came from, and then they start to think, I really don't get this information where I'm currently at or my current brokerage, so maybe it makes sense for me to talk to Jay about coming over. And so then it becomes a much, it's like a come list me versus a cold call, and it's really a great way to be able to sift and sort. And I'll be honest, I've really turned away a lot of agents just because they don't fit the mold, they don't fit what I have to offer, the culture and things like that, which, again, we'll talk more about, I think, this weekend. But it's interesting. It's kind of fun. Before, in the beginning, I was just, I was so excited to get an agent to call me, then all of a sudden 3 months later they're rolling out the door because they didn't fit what I had to offer. They didn't see the benefit of what I was providing them, and then I realized they just, they weren't my avatar. They weren't the agent that I really wanted to go after. And yeah, so it's a bit more of a soft sell, which I think recruiting can definitely be that way. I don't make any calls. I don't call anybody. I don't ever pick up the phone and say, hey, I noticed your numbers are great and I wanted to see if you're interested. I never do that. Like I try in the beginning and I'm like, I didn't do this to get sellers. Why am I doing this now to get agents? So yeah.
Yeah, that's quintessential direct response marketing, is that you offer something of value that people want, like your educational seminar that you do. So tell us a little bit about this group selling event, this 3-hour workshop that you're doing, how that works, and first of all, tell us what it is, how you promote it, and then what happens when people show up.
Yeah, so what it is, it's basically a marketing workshop, and I show them, of course, all of the stuff that I learned, from you and Craig, and how we use that in our business, and I basically show them, the ads, the response mechanisms, all the stuff that allows agents to become super successful by learning the laws of leverage and obviously learning direct response marketing. But we basically go through, it's 3 hours, and sometimes it goes over, but it's just a really good, high-level, informative way to get agents to get a taste of what it is you offer. And a lot of them, my intent there is to overwhelm them a little bit to the point where they're like, they need more help and structure to be able to put this together. So that's why they call me. There's no recruiting push at this seminar. It's very light, and I did that because I thought, if I really make this more of a marketing seminar, then I can get more people involved in promoting it. So I can get my lenders and title companies, because they don't feel like they're stepping on other brokers' feet when they see it. So I get a lot more people involved, and so I'm just, again, leveraging their database and their people that they know that would fit this. And it's been great. In fact, I've got the one coming up on the 22nd, and so far I've got 72 people signed up. On average, 55, 60 will show up. But out of that, I mean, there's 10 or 15 that will either sign up, join, or have at least a serious conversation with me about making a change.
Okay, so what's the offer when you get them there and you're showing them your stuff, how you do things and how you get business and sell houses, which is superior to anything they're doing. I get that. And so what's the offer? Like, when do you offer it, and what is specifically said to get them to raise their hand and say, yeah, I want to talk to you?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I was actually at the end having them fill out a survey about whether or not they're looking to make a change and make a join, or would like more information. And so now I don't even bring up the fact that they could make a change. I just simply put out a form that just says, yes, I'd like to learn more about direct response marketing, and I'd like to learn more about how to grow my business using these marketing pieces. I'd like to have a conversation with Jay. It's not about Jay joining Jay's brokerage, but it's a conversation about marketing. So I give them a quick, 30-minute, maybe 45-minute conversation about where their business is, almost like a little bit of a free look. But invariably, what it does is it helps me identify, is that somebody that I'd like to have in my brokerage? And then that offer comes one-on-one when I have that conversation. And I'm like, typically it's like, man, you got a great business, and I could really help you. Have you ever thought about just making that change? Well, now that I went to this thing, and maybe I should, maybe it makes sense. And so that's really where I do it. As opposed to a group setting, I just do that on one-on-one. But I get them to raise their hand and fill out that form to say, yeah, I definitely want to know more about this. And a lot of times, sometimes people don't even fill out the form, and then I'll get a call, the next day saying, hey, I was at your workshop, and I don't get this. I got to come here and join your brokerage. I mean, my brokerage offers none of this stuff. So it's pretty soft, but it's amazing how effective it is. Because I think at the end, sometimes they're expecting, like, why is this guy putting this on? Like, why is he going to spend all this time and energy and effort to put, to give us all this information about the marketing and provide information to maybe compete against his agents? And so I do bring that up in the beginning, though.
Yeah, because and I'm thinking it's a simple answer that makes sense, which is it just gives you the opportunity to expose Remax Platinum Living to these guys.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and so that's been a great draw. And then I do a lot of social media. Here's a social media piece that I put out every once in a while on lead gen and our lead program that we provide. Of course, that's through different systems, and Commissions Inc. is a major part of that. But what it shows is man, this company is offering not only buyer leads and appointments, but they also have seller leads and appointments. And so, then we talk about how much commission's been paid out to agents based on office generated leads.
So let's pay close attention to that, because so I asked earlier, or I repeated basically what members say when I asked them, hey, so what are you doing to get agents? And their response is, well, nothing. So, but they have the very thing. Everybody watching this webinar, you, me, we have the very thing that agents want, and that is more business than we can get to, sellers and buyers. So, it's pretty clear right here. You're saying, look, we have listings that we're trying to give away. They're coming. We have sellers that we can't get to. We're trying to give away. We have buyers that we can't get to. So I like here on your marketing piece where you've actually put, the area and the price range of the property that you're trying to give away to some agent if they'll take it.
Yep.
It's the same thing with us. So I want to, highlight this for everybody watching. Like, you should be showing buyers out there, buyers agents, outside sales guys. You should be showing them the buyers that you have that you're trying to give away and the area and the price ranges that they're looking in. And here's why. What most everybody, I don't think, realizes on this webinar is that the people that we're trying to target, the agents, the outside sales agents that we're targeting for recruiting, the houses that they're selling and the price ranges that they're operating in and the commissions that they're making are less. They're at a lesser price range, operating on average. On average, the average selling price is less than your average selling price. And the amount of money, for sure, the amount of commission they're making per transaction is less. So we got to where we would show buyers, agents out there, the buyers, and what the commission rate was that we were getting, 3.5%, 4%, which raised large amounts of curiosity, gets them asking, like, what's this about? How's this work? I noticed that you have a performance guarantee that you offer agents as well on some of your marketing stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we do the I think it was this one here. Yep. The $25,000, and I got to tell you, that's almost a little low because I've never had anybody who's joined me and who has not made more than $40,000 more. So I'm thinking about even bumping that up a little bit. But yeah, so I get a few agents who bring that up, but a lot of them talk about it and just say, oh, this is the guy who guarantees to make you more money. And so I'm almost known as the video guarantee guy, but it's interesting in how, just like sellers, how few of them actually they like the idea, but very few of them bring it up.
So yeah, let's think about that for a minute. How many other real estate teams, companies, brokers offer a performance guarantee? Hey, come over here, and if you don't make more money, I'll pay you the difference. Like, I'm trying to figure out, I don't know if anybody even offers that outside of our program that I've seen. And what it does is it's another level or another topic of conversation to have with the agents that they don't presently have where they are now. All right. So so this is your website. So it's joinplatinumliving.com/guarantee.
Yep.
And at your website there, joinplatinumliving.com. And let me say this to everyone. This is a success website.
Yeah, this is Nice. Here's the homepage, and they custom designed it and built it, and they're actually changing up some of the colors on the next one. So, but here's the guaranteed sale. That's where I land them to, obviously.
Yep.
And
So you got your guaranteed.
very similar.
Yep. And but like you said, it gets them there. They all typically make more money than that, most by a long shot, and so it's not something that you have to pay out. But it gives people a measure of peace of mind, with that kind of risk reversal offer. So if you're having some struggles now, watching this webinar, if you're having some struggles getting agents to pay attention to you, then it's the same thing as you're getting buyers and sellers. You need a unique selling proposition and performance guarantee. Okay? So let's run through, Jay, real fast, a couple of bullet points, let's say 3 bullet points of your unique selling proposition outside of the performance guarantee, but, what's in it for me? What do I get, when I associate with you over and above maybe anywhere else or where I'm associating now? So what are a few bullet points of your unique selling proposition?
Well, right away, you're going to get leads and appointments, right? That's one of the things that agents all want. They all want, and so many of the brokerages now are getting into leads, but very few of them are actually leveraging the appointment aspect of it. So we're going to say, hey, look, we're going to get you an endless stream of leads, but we're also going to get you appointments and closings. So that's part of my guaranteed sale program, or my unique.
All right, well, hold on. So you said the magic word. We're going to get you closings.
Yeah.
We're going to get you leads, appointments, and closings. All right. Now, are the leads that they're getting, the appointments that they're getting, are they at, or are they higher than, or are they less than what the average price point is in the marketplace?
And that's a good question. Ours is actually above the average price point, just because we're, in Scottsdale, it tends to be a little bit higher number, but we did that on purpose, and most agents will go where the business is, but for the most part, our average sale on this system is about $75,000 higher than the average in the area.
Mm-hmm. All right, so hey, if you're just joining us, and I see we got some latecomers today, I'm talking with Jay Macklin, and Jay's a longtime platinum member, millionaire agent member, who has grown his sales team into multiple real estate brokerages in the Phoenix area, and he's a pro at recruiting. We've been working for several years behind the scenes to bring to platinum members with brokerages, independent real estate companies, or their own major franchise, a program that you can involve yourself in to grow your own brokerage. So we're going to be highlighting that via a presentation on Saturday in Anaheim at the Hyatt there on Saturday at 9 a.m. So we're looking at some of what Jay's doing, and I'm tying it into just the basics of recruiting and getting agents, the things that are necessary that you must do. Now, so Jay, I think you said right off the bat why you're so successful now at getting agents, at recruiting people, where other members in the Platinum program are failing miserably at doing it, and it's because that's what you're doing. Like, you get up in the morning and you go to work, and your job, you see it as number one rainmaking activity there, is to go out and get people. Is that right?
That's it. That's all I do. My job is recruit, develop, retain. That's all I do.
So think about that. So most of the members are too busy being the real estate agent that they can't grow their real estate sales team. So let me repeat that. If you're not able to grow your real estate sales team, it's likely it's because you're too busy being the real estate agent. At some point here, you have to become the entrepreneur in the business versus the technician, and work on the marketing, the very things necessary to grow the business. So Jay, what's your vision here for your real estate company?
Yeah, so you and I had that conversation almost 3 years ago, and I said, I said, Todd, if I'm going to do this, I'm only going to do it the way I want to do it, and it's going to be big. So my vision is to have 5 offices, 350 agents, potentially grow into other states, maybe Southern California. But right now, it's pretty much to dominate the Phoenix Scottsdale area. And to a point where I can almost, so in the last 2.5 years, I've taken myself out of the sales process and the team end of it. What I want to do next is basically take myself out of what I'm doing now. So I want to leverage it to where I can now be in it if I want, but I'm going to basically take myself out of my recruiting, development, retaining every day.
All right, so I see on your screen here you've got this free special report.
Yeah, if you guys haven't done this is actually Todd's report that he gave me, and I kind of changed it up a little bit just graphically. But this is one of my. I put this out here for on Facebook. I put it out there on postcards. This is one of the best response reports that I have. This and my book of benefits. These two are really, really good.
Yeah, I know that it would be great. So if I'm watching the webinar right now, and there's a lot of our platinum members jumped on this thing today because we got issues on recruiting people we want. We want to replace some people that we have. We want better people. We want to handle all the leads that we've got coming in. We want to go get more leads. So, but if you're trying to say to the world out there, to your marketplace, hey, agents, come and work for me. We're hiring. Okay? And here's why you should come and work for me. Just understand that is a bridge too far. I said it in the beginning of the webinar. It's a bridge too far. You have to lower the threshold of resistance. And you want to step the people into coming and joining your real estate sales team. It's the same as getting a seller or a buyer. So the marketing is a lower threshold, like Jay here, reverse prospecting, direct response marketing. Okay, offering up a free report or free information in exchange for the contacts information. Okay, they get the information, which obviously does the job of selling and pre-selling. People on Jay. Jay follows up, closes them to come to his free seminar. And if it's your real estate sales team, it's your free seminar, your presentation, where you show them how you get the leads, how everything works. And then once they know the benefits, then you close to get them to join your real estate company or whatever that step might be. The next step might be a face-to-face discussion about it versus just joining outright. So that's the way Craig taught me to do it, and that's the way I use it to grow my real estate company here, Optimus Real Estate Brokers, which is wildly successful in Metro Atlanta, and I don't even have a real estate license. So, we're going to do, $6 million or so in GCI this year. So, and 3 years ago, it didn't exist. So that's how it's done. And I'm hoping everybody's getting something from this, but I want to remind everyone that on Saturday morning at 9 a.m., we're going to dive a little bit deeper into it from a brokerage perspective. So anyone that's interested in that, you want to be in that session for that. And if you're not, you will still benefit if you believe that you need people, really good people on your team to make it more productive. Trust me, what you will see during this session, you will benefit from, just like you are right now. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how you leverage the current agents that you do get, Jay. I noticed you've got Steve's picture up there. You do a good job of this. When you bring somebody on, you tell the world about them and brag about them, and you leverage that. You're leveraging the people you get to get more people. Is that the best way to say it?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's no different than, even as an agent who joins a new brokerage and they put out a letter to their past clients, what better way to do that than Facebook, right? So, I mean, you let them know. I let all my agents know, hey, good, I'm going to make a big deal of this because I think there's two parts of it, and I'm very honest. I say, look, I think you're an awesome agent, and I just want to let everybody know that you're here because the more good agents I have, the better for us, the better for you. But number two is that you're going to leverage this against all the people that you've maybe forgotten to talk to, or past clients that you might have failed to touch. This is a great way to reconnect and have a story about why you're making a move and reconnect with them. So yeah, and not only that, but of course I'm tagging them and I'm getting all their friends and their realtor friends and they're seeing it, and then they get calls. Hey, why'd you join Jay's office? Like what made you do that? And I can't tell you how many times agents will come in and say, oh my God, all my friends are asking me, my agent friends are asking me why I joined. So, that starts to become more organic internally from the agents who do come here just by a simple post or a really cool PR piece. I know Rudy does a great job with this too, and I started thinking about it going, why am I not doing these PR pieces for our agents, kind of like it is in Facebook, but maybe out in a postcard or on a newspaper, and that there's tremendous value to pushing why they came to the brokerage, or just announcing that they came.
Yeah, so I get some. I'm on Twitter a little bit. I'm not a big Twitter guy, but I do have a Twitter account, and every now and then I will tweet something and read something. But I do follow a good bit of our members on Twitter, and you guys, you and some of the other folks, I saw one from Tim and Rosangela yesterday. It's like you take the opportunity to issue a press release about anything that's relevant and matters. Okay, you've got your office opening here, other special events that you do. What are we looking at here?
This is we won the Eagle Award for recruiting 2 years in a row, and this was the press release that Remax had put out, and I thought, I'm sharing this with everybody. So it's something they put together. It's like Craig always says, you're never a hero in your own backyard. So I just let them toot the horn. I just post it. So it was a 2014 Eagle Award, which is for the Southwest region. All the Remaxes look at the net numbers for agent gain, and we won it in 2013 and 2014. So. And that was when we had two offices, and I think we're leading the pack now for 2015. So, just a little push. People sometimes don't even read it all, but they're like, "Hey, I saw you had you won some kind of award." Yep, that's what I want.
Yeah, the average outside sales agent on a real estate sales team in the Platinum program, for members that have been in the program for over 1 year, and you'll like this stat. The average income, gross income, is $200,000 for the team. Okay, so I want everybody to think about that. If you've been in the Platinum program for a little bit, well, as you get over 1 year into this, your agents that have been with you for that time or more, okay, the average income is $200,000 in gross commission income for the team. Okay, so I want everybody to think about that. So that means you have people that are making $150,000 in GCI, and you have folks that are making $250,000 in GCI. We had plenty that would make $250,000, $300,000 or more in gross commission income. That means they're netting, $100,000, $150,000 or more, in their pockets. So I want you to think about that for a minute. That is an awful lot of money that happens from leveraging really good people. Okay, so if someone is worth that kind of money to your real estate business, if they really are, then at some point in your career, you'll get a little more serious about what you do on a daily basis to get them. Okay, so we titled this webinar today, AVR, Always Be Recruiting. So Jay, I'm a Braves fan, so I'm in the Atlanta Braves have had just a god-awful year, and they're one of the worst teams in baseball, not the worst team, but one of the worst. And they had a big transition, got rid of a lot of high-level players that they were paying a lot of money to that were underperforming, brought in other players that just didn't work for them. So they're going to be making a bunch of more changes again. But that's the way it is with any business, is that we may bring somebody on, and I'm sure you've done this. You bring them on, you're like, oh my God, I got a good one here. They're going to really be good for our company, for our real estate sales team. And it doesn't work out. But what do most businesses do that are very successful? And we can use sport franchises. They're great analogies on this. They don't keep them around. They don't keep them around. But agents, many of them in our program will. They keep them around, even though they're not doing what they thought they were going to be able to do to help them grow the business. So that's where this whole thing comes in, when you're slow to hire and quick to fire. So Jay, you fit that definition really well on the slow to hire. You take your time in recruiting people, and it's a build-up I noticed on your marketing materials, you even say, hey, look, if you make less than $75,000 now, don't bother calling or coming.
Yep. Yep. So, and that's a, I realized for me that, to take somebody from $0 to $3 million a year in business is really hard, just because it's not who my perfect agent is. And one of the questions that one of the agents asked on here, do you go after new agents or more seasoned? And I tend to go after more seasoned agents, which you can probably imagine is pretty hard to go, because these people are entrenched and they have a good business. And I'm like, but if I can get 1 or 2 versus 10 new agents, isn't that, I mean, not that I would turn somebody away, but I primarily go after the seasoned agents. But yeah, they have to fit the mold. I can take somebody from 3 to 10 million pretty quick, but from 0 to 3, my systems, for here's how to write a contract, here's how you do this, I don't have that set up, and I did that on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And there are agencies out there that will do that, and I think there's some great new agents who can be really good, but eventually I realize that they're going to grow out of where they're at, and they're going to look around, and I'm going to be there to help. So it just worked well for me.
All right, so we've got a lot of questions here. I think we should probably take some of those.
Sure.
So I'm going to flip it over to Andrea, and Andrea, I'm going to let you handle the questions if that's okay. So you take it away. You do your normal thing, and we'll take some of these questions.
Okay, we'll go. Looks like you've answered a couple of them. Luke wants to confirm, where did you establish your business, Jay? He missed that part.
I started as an agent 2006. Went to Craig's conference here in Phoenix 2008 as I was dusting off my car business resume because I couldn't survive and I didn't have a steady flow of business. And then 2009 had a stellar career, a stellar turnaround. 2010 I had a really good year and opened up our own business, our own brokerage, and then 2.5 years later, I had a great team. I just wanted to, for whatever reason, I got the bug to open up my own brokerage. I already had my own brokerage, but I really wanted to grow my own brokerage. And I think one of the other questions was, why Remax versus an indie? And that just worked for me. I'm not pro big box or pro indie. I don't really. I mean, whatever works in your marketplace, I think is going to be the answer. But for me, the marketplace was really heavily big box agencies, and I was having a conversation with Todd about this, and he said, why did you choose the Remax brand? And I said, you know what, just to get people to look my direction. And he goes, okay, so how many people in your brokerage right now would probably stay with you if you changed brands? And I said, probably 90%, 85, 90%, because of what I offer and what it is they get. So I did that just to get them to look my direction. So that's what we did. And so 2.5 years later, we're at 120 agents, almost 4 offices here in the next couple months. So that's kind of how it started.
Okay, and that answers one of the questions from Alan. Why Remax versus independent? And your response was top agent attraction.
Yeah, I wanted to get people that were top agents looking my direction and saying, okay, who's this yokel coming out of the gates, and where when I was my own little independent, just my area, independents don't necessarily hold the top agents, and a lot of the top agents are very cognizant of that. Not that there's not, but I just needed I needed to leverage myself more than what I had. I only had 30 agents when I started my company or my little independent company, and then when we became Remax, I lost 20 of them because they didn't want to go to the big box, and so I kept 10, which mostly were my team members. But I just was able to get more agents looking my direction, and it didn't have to be Remax. It could have been, it could have been Coldwell Banker or Keller Williams or, something known, and I just decided to go with Remax. That's all.
Okay, Vic McCarrion has typed a question, but he also raised his hand, so I'm going to see if he has a working mic and he can ask him himself. Vic, your line is open.
Hello, hi.
Vic.
Hello. Yeah, hi, Jay. I have a couple of questions, please. When you're teaching the agents, when you're recruiting, you said you're teaching them about leverage. My question is, if you teach them about leverage, eventually they're going to have their own office. What's the benefit to you if you teach them about leverage, just like you hiring agents to you, and if they have their own office, how the split going to work? For example, right now my split is, let's say, 50-50 with my new agents in the office. But when they have office, don't they become your competition, or are they using your name, your company name? You know what I mean?
So are you asking me when they join my office, if I teach them all these things that they needed to learn about with leverage and direct response, are you saying that they're going to go out on their own and open up their own office?
Yeah, I'm just thinking if you teach them about leverage and about how to recruit, about marketing and everything, do you teach them that, everything, or you don't?
Yeah, I mean, I teach them what they need. So typically they come to me with concerns and issues, just like with members coming to the Proctor system, right? There's always going to be holes in their business, but I'm never worried about them saying, "Hey, Jay, thanks so much. The last 2 years you taught me so much. I'm going to go open up my own brokerage." I'm not worried about that. I don't.
Right. So, hey, Vic,
Yes, sir.
we have, Craig Proctor and I, and Jay, we have a very difficult time getting you and the other people watching the webinar right now, the other hundreds of people watching it, we have a hard enough time getting you guys to copy the stuff and use it.
Yeah.
So I don't, and I know that, well, put it this way, I'll give you my own experience. In my 20 years of exposing my team and people that have come through my team to Craig and being open about it, that, hey, I'm copying Craig Proctor. Nobody's ever done it. and I've hired a lot of people, man. I'm amazed by it. I'm with you. I'm amazed. So, but on occasion, like your story, I hear of one person here or there that's an entrepreneur-minded person. They come and they get involved on your team, and they get exposed to Craig and me and Jay and others, and they believe they can do it too. They can even do it better than Vic can. So they leave, start their own real estate sales team. That's okay. Just write it into your agreements that they can't, do that, or give them some time frame for not being able to do that if you want to, like a no compete or something, and just make it more difficult for those types of people to do. But understand that Jay makes it easy. Like if they were to leave Jay's office, just like if they were to leave your team, they got to start over and figure everything out. And so it's just way more convenient and easier to be at Jay's, on Jay's company, on Vic's team, at my real estate business. It's just way easier for them, so that they're not going to leave. Hey, and let me say this about it. Jay's in Phoenix, right? Vic, you're in LA.
Yes.
I am in Metro Atlanta. We know, all three of us know that if I move to LA, Vic, or you move to Atlanta, you know that some of the words in marketing and things that you're doing now that work in LA, you would have to change for the marketplace here because of message to market match. You'd have to do that. So the people like at Optimus, they know that. So, if they're getting a duplication of my real estate sales team in Metro Atlanta, the people in LA, they're getting it from you based on what works and what doesn't work for that particular marketplace, and you're spending all the money on testing and advertising. So the majority of people that associate with you they're just not going anywhere, especially if they're making money. They're not going anywhere. So, but there will be the one or two that decides to do something different. And over my 25 years of watching them come and go, it's just hard, man. It's hard enough for us to do it, right?
That is true. I agree. Yeah, let's suppose somebody want to open a Markarian Realty office too, and they want me to manage. Should that be okay? If I have, Jay has 4 offices. Jay, do you manage all of them, or you have managers there?
Yeah, so I do it, yes. We manage them all. So we have a central location office that does all the contract compliance and all the normal stuff, the order pays and things like that. But each one of the offices has a manager in the office, to do multiple duties. But everything is done out of the one office. So each office, I don't have contract compliance and payroll and anything like that. It all houses out of one office.
Okay. That's my question, was my main question. So basically, all the agents are under your umbrella.
Correct. They're all Remax Platinum Living agents, and whether they want to work in the Western's cowboy town office, or they want to go to the hip waterfront office, that's up to them. They can hang their license on any one of those 4 offices, but they're all within Remax.
Okay. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Jay. This is a great webinar. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me remind everyone, Saturday morning at 9 a.m., I know most everybody on the webinar is going to be in Anaheim. We've got a huge percentage of attendance here, so it's going to be a big event. Saturday morning at 9 a.m., we're going to get into this a little bit deeper here, with Jay and myself, and look at some of these materials and explore it, and talk about some of these things. And I'll give you a couple of examples here. This is fun. Like at some point in your business, like Jay's, mine, Francois McKay, I mean, when you're already doing, $3 or $4 million in gross commission income, and you're netting over $1 million a year, with your real estate company, at some point you get into market saturation. Like it's hard to grow your real estate sales team beyond. What do you do? Like what's the next thing? So hey, okay, we'll duplicate your sales team, and some of our members are doing a really good job of that. Some of the guys in the Titanium Mastermind, Jay, they're doing a really good job of doing that, and so there's a long way to go here, so that everybody knows. Now, we don't want to get too far away from the needs that people have right now. For example, a lot of people, Jay, they need a buyer's agent or an outside salesperson in a bad way, or an inside salesperson in a really bad way. It's costing them a lot of money not having it. All right, so what do you think, Jay, is and this is a bad way to say it, the simplest way to get an outside sales agent, but I mean, you've hired a bunch of them. I've hired a bunch of them. You've got a lot of them still there. So do I. So what's the maybe surefire, quickest, simplest way to pull it off?
Say that again.
What's the simplest way, in a nutshell, to get an outside salesperson to come and join your real estate sales team?
In a nutshell, give them what they're not getting currently. Give them things that they know will grow their business. Everybody wants, from what I understand, from what I've seen in my experience, is that they all want to know that the place they're at is gonna get them to the next level in their business, or help them sustain a balance in their business. So there's some kind of deficit that they're experiencing right now in their current brokerage. And I think we hit on those bullet points, but for the most part, it could be appointments, leads, closings. It could be the training. It could be, some people do come here because of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew really what culture was. I mean, I thought it was this, elusive, intrinsic value that was out there, but I didn't know how to touch it and feel it. And so some people are very into that. So, I didn't really worry about that as a team leader. I was like, who cares? I just want to, it's all about selling houses and making money. But as a brokerage, that is a play. So, just really identifying, putting your messages out there of the strengths that you have, that you can provide, and the people who need those will flock to you.
So, Jay, a little bit ago, you didn't do it on purpose, but your one of your browsers opened up and you had your commissions ink side up.
Oh, yeah.
You still have it?
I do. I got both of them here. Let's see. That's my Phoenix. Here's my.
All right. So let's look at it from this perspective, and this goes for everybody watching right now. See, Jay has right here the very thing that the agents in the marketplace want. So it's really as simple as this, and this serves a lot of purposes. This is what sellers want. Sellers want buyers, for example. So walking into a listing appointment or using this in marketing materials, like we show you how to show buyers, show sellers, hey, you want buyers? I got them. You should call me. Same thing with agents. You want an overflow of business? Well, look, I got them. This guy showed up yesterday. This guy showed up today. This guy right now is on my site looking for houses, and I can't call him. I can't call the guy. can you? So that's great leverage. So most everybody here has what it is that agents want. Okay, it's making the connection where the struggle is, and that's just done by marketing. That's just done by marketing. Okay, so whether it's ads, whether it's direct mail, whether it's your social media applications, whether it's pick up the phone and calling them or having somebody else do it on your behalf, that's the part that you have to do. So Jay is not lacking for agents interested in his company because he gets up every day and that's what he goes and does. He spends time on getting agents. So if you need agents, it's probably because you're not spending time on getting what it is that you most want. You're too busy being a real estate agent. And if that's not the case, then we need to drill down and try to help you with whatever the thing is that's getting in the way. All right? So the system's there at your fingertips. It's available for you. Put it in play and copy it and implement it. We started out by showing you the coaching site, where to go to pull down the information, manual number 1 and number 2, Platinum OSA recruiting. Okay, so we're going to pick this up in a couple of days in Anaheim, okay, the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Conference on building, growing, and leveraging a really great real estate sales team, okay, through recruiting, ABR, always be recruiting. So Jay, with that, I'm looking forward to you showing us a little bit more and a lot more Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, great to do this. This is fun for me, so I enjoy this.
Yeah. And, hey, thanks for jumping on today's webinar. So with that, we're going to wrap this thing up today. And looking forward to seeing everybody in Anaheim at the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Conference here in a couple of days. Andrea, again, thanks a lot. It's going to be a great conference for us, and you help us put that together, so thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a great weekend and safe travels to the conference. This officially ends the webinar for today.